I will be talking all things staging. How much do you know about staging? Have you or anyone that you know staged a property for a sale? And why don't we see it here in the UK? If we look to the model over in the US and in Australia, staging a property is a really common practice, and they believe that it adds a maximum value to your property. It is a crucial part of their marketing strategy, and it makes me wonder why this is not the same over here in the UK. Now, the most common reason I believe will be down to the cost. It can cost anywhere between about £5,000 to £20,000 to stage a property, depending on the size of the property and how many rooms that you want staging. Now, that alone can be quite daunting for a seller, especially if they haven't been educated or it hasn't been explained to them what their money is going towards and how it will be a massive investment into the sale of their property. It is the role of your agent to maximise the value of your property and make sure that they attract as many buyers as possible, exposing it to the widest target audience that they possibly can. Now, for that to take place, for some properties, staging is crucial. And if you do not have an agent on your side to tell you that that is how they can maximise the value of your property, then you may need to rethink the agent that you have in your corner. Not all properties need staging. A lot of developments and a lot of developers understand how to market their properties, so they often furnish it and the decor in those properties are ready and prepared for the marketing presentation. However, for a lot of sellers that have been in their homes for 10 plus years, where you have very sentimental attachments to your furnishings, or it might be down to your own personal preference, it can be sometimes difficult to see that that's not what a potential buyer may want for their home, or it may be hard for a potential buyer to visualize themselves in that home due to it not being their style. With this all said, the best agents in the country will advise you in the correct manner. They will take the emotion out of the sale and advise you professionally what's going to maximise the value. Now, these can be quite difficult conversations, and what we can often see is that agents aren't willing or are not proactive enough to have these conversations, and that could be down to the pure fact that it's a difficult conversation sometimes to tell a seller that they may need to change their furnishings and decor, and that they need to have an upfront cost of this if they want to stage it properly. Or you might also have an agent in the worst case scenario that is too lazy to get this all organised, so decides not to mention it. Now, like I said, not every property needs staging. However, if you have an agent that tells you that to maximise the value of your property, it should be staged, and they get quotes for you and then they take full control of it for you, so it takes the stress out of it, then you are being advised professionally, then you are being told how to maximise the value, and also you will be investing in the future sale of your property. It's too often we see properties sat on the market for over 3 months, over 6 months, sometimes up to 12 months, and they do not have an agent that lets them know what is wrong and why it's not selling. Sometimes staging can transform a property so much that within weeks, people are viewing the property like it's been on the market for the first couple of days. Property staging creates a desirable lifestyle, painting a picture of what the buyer's life would be like in your property. Just by staging a property with professional stylists, you can then tap into and engage a buyer's emotional response to your property, and this is where we see the best results. This is where a buyer is more likely to put offers forward because they have fallen in love with the property and they would like the sale to get moving. I have teamed up with Lemon and Lime today to show you how drastically property staging can reform and bring a burst of life to a property being sold. Lemon and Lime Interiors are based in the UK and are a multi-international award-winning property staging business, only dealing with the premium market. Let's now look at some examples of before and afters to really show you what staging can do to a property. Take the example here. Now, first of all, we can clearly see that professional photography could be utilised to elevate that shot. But let's say that professional photography had been used. With this room being completely empty, it really doesn't help a potential buyer to understand the size and the dimensions of the room without going to view the property. But for them to want to view the property, they need to fall in love with the images and the videos that are on offer. Now, popping furniture into a room, having it furnished properly will help a potential buyer to understand how much can fit in that room, especially when we're talking about a lounge or a living room. A lot of people will be bringing their own furniture, so that's something that they will need to know, especially with rooms such as reception rooms, living spaces, where you have that kind of big bulkier furniture like sofas, televisions, cabinetry. So they really do need to see what can fit in there, and having a room that's completely bare is really difficult. Also, this picture, it lacks colour, it lacks a burst of light, and when you look really closely at this image, you can see some really lovely features to this property. They've got really detailed architraves around the doors and around the windows. It's got the big huge bay fronted windows, a lot of light that could be coming through, and a lot of the furnishings and decor could complement that, having lighter tones to make the room feel bigger and airier, because at the moment it feels quite dark and dingy. Some of that will come from the photography used, but the fact that we haven't kind of accentuated the amazing qualities of this room. So here is the after. Wow. This looks like a completely different property, and if I saw that picture online, straight away the first thing I would think is, I want to see the rest of the house. If this room looks like this, what does the rest of the property look like? And that is down to the fact that I can now envision what that property's potential is. To me, that property has just gone up in value massively, just by the professional and the proper marketing presentation, which is the photography, and it is also the staging. If this is something that you are considering doing, or you would like some more information on how staging can help, or you would like to get in touch with luxury property partners, then please message me via my social media or via my email address, which is below.